everything's good. Cool. Oh shoot, I should probably get some water. Oh, water. Water. Some water. Get the water. Okay, got the water. Let me give me like 5 seconds. Hold on. Give me like a minute to set this up. Oh man, I usually do this beforehand, but so light. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Sorry, that was probably the slow start I've had. With a couple hiccups? That's a little annoying. Sorry, there was a... phone was downloading the OS update, so I had to stop it somehow. Alright. Off the phone. Actually, I'll just plug in the phone. You know what? It's like 70%. It's fine. It'll be fine. All right. Got the water. Drink some water. Oh shit. The screen is wrong. Okay. Good old water. All right. So beforehand, I went through this and I finally clicked to run in the background. Also, I didn't realize there was a difficulty. Usually these sort of... I didn't know visual novels had a difficulty level. I sort of wonder what easy would be. Is it like, would it show me if I made a good choice or bad choice before I made that choice? Because that's kind of weird. Or does it just make the QuickTime events easier? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it does, actually. Hey, Goonie! Hey, thanks to this game, I feel like a girl is gonna come up to me and say I owe them a favor. I'm sorry for taking your cookies? You lost me. I also turned down the gain on the mic because it's peaking a lot. Sorry for that. And we'll just continue on from where we left off last time. I talk about thee. Sorry. Alright, Monday couldn't come any sooner. After taking the floor plans from Miss Santos, is really loud on my end. I'm going to turn this down. The day before last, I spent most of my Sunday drawing up plans and calling in my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I'm quite sure that they'd want high-end appliances, the most expensive materials, and the most pretentious everything, because they're rich. They usually did these rich types based from experience, at least. Given how badly the whole thing started, it wouldn't hurt to be prepared. I have to check myself, make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building tenants take the elevator up with me. It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. What? Do people in England do that? That's weird. Cause yeah, that's weird. Why? I don't know. Like you go into an elevator with a stranger, and she's just like, "Man, you look like shit." Doesn't matter. I'm crap at the language called English. It's fine. So am I. We all are. Most people try to say they're not. No, that's just me. Never mind. It's just me. I'd like to think I'm good at the English language, but I'm not good. I are not good. But I'm not saved from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to my floor is nerve-wracking. The Wrights live at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to condominium and urban living. Is that what a penthouse is? I don't know what a penthouse is. What is a penthouse? I'm gonna check this up. Penthouse. Penthouse is an apartment on the top floor of a tall building. Wow. Typically luxuriously fitted and offering fine views. Oh. I've never been to a penthouse apartment because I don't have rich friends, or none of my friends are rich. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks just to secure a key card, not only because of the building management, but because of the Wright's personal security. It sometimes felt like I was being interrogated for a crime and not visiting a client at their home. Even when their personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hastened. Speaking of the devil, God, look at this beautiful man. Sorry. The elevator door opens and I'm greeted by none other than Whiskey's not so little lackey. How tall is he?
I do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting, but I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security, and only 5 minutes late.
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
A lot of security. Why did it say new relationship?
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle on.
I want a butler.
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
I want a German butler. I assume he's German by the way he talks and his accent.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
Can I ask why you would play a game like this? Did you buy yourself or did you get the game recommended by someone? The game came recommended by someone. I take a look. I think half a year ago? I know it came out recently, but like it was out on Kickstarter or something like that. And I really liked the premise. I'm like, oh, at first I was like, oh, it's a haunted house game. And then they're like, there's gonna be voice acting and animation in betweens, and like, oh, awesome. And I sort of fell into the hype after that. And yeah, I got it as soon as my paycheck came in. So like, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I wouldn't call it a game. I wouldn't call a visual novel a game, but it's definitely a good experience. I don't like how it's jump scary though. That's my only problem with it. The sir does not like being a little bit sorry. He shows me to the couch before drifting off towards the kitchen, quietly pulling out a teapot, cups, and all sorts of other things in preparation for tea. I ignore the animosity towards his employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be too surprised this whiskey zone people don't like him. Accepting the quiet and isolation instead, I brace myself for what's to come. And in this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes or 10, even 10. I sit in their living room just waiting. And when the kettle starts whistling and the tea has been stirred, I continue to wait. At least the silence is relaxing. But then there's a crash. I nearly spill tea all over my lap in surprise and look up, expecting security to come running. Even the man at the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast like he heard nothing? I don't want to speak up about it because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking, and I don't want to be the cause of burnt food or worse. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what that was, although I am normally not this nosy. What should I do? I'm gonna leave this off to you, Goonie. You choose, because I personally don't want to check it out. And I want to be a good boy and continue waiting. But maybe you have a different preference. Or maybe Goonie's gone and I'm talking to myself again. I'll just wait a couple seconds. Goonie says, check it out. Great, great. Goonie, I trust you. The crash came from the hallway, and I really shouldn't be snooping about. Well, it's just concern. Yeah, concern that urges me to check it out. Yup, just concern, not curiosity. Sneaking a glance at the butler, I consider sneaking off, but...
Excuse me, but where's the loo?
He barely looks my way before pointing a spatula towards the hallway. It's a good excuse as any. And if I'm caught lingering longer than I should just excuse myself and say that I wasn't sure which door led to where. Wow. That's yeah, this is a bad idea. This is a very bad idea. There's a delay. Are we even checking out? Probably ghosts. Knowing this game, ghosts. Or a dead body. Because we don't know what the rights do as a job. Or what their enterprise comprises of. Still looking into the hallway reveals nothing. I don't see anything that might have caused the crash. The hallway, like the rest of the place, is in pristine condition. There are several doors for not only the toilet, but also presumably rooms for their butler and for other members of the staff. As I stand there, however, something feels definitely out of place. One of the doors, the nearest within my reach, stands ajar, and from inside the light flickers it incessantly. And I swear to God, if he killed off Marianne, I'm gonna be very, very mad. It could simply be a light bulb that needs replacing, but the thought of it in a place so well taken care of seems off. I think that maybe this is where the crash came from. Inside, I spy a radio lying on the floor. That's probably it, right? Maybe one of the help in a hurry to get out of the room knocked over in the process. If that's all it is, I should really leave it alone, but I won't. As I turn to leave, the sound of static fills the air and a man's tiny? That's not how you spell tiny. Any voice interrupts the silence.
At 7 in the morning, students found a 5th-year dead.
Why am I still standing here? Good question.
Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
Oh boy. This seems familiar, doesn't it?
Authorities are investigating the possibility of foul play.
Like I've heard it before.
Reporting from St. Samthins, Shane McCollough of Galway Bay, AM.
I should have fucking expected it. But it was the music cue that scared me, not the actual visual. No, the visual scared me. Sorry about that. Sorry about your ears, everyone. That's totally my fault. I definitely should have expected it. And I think I blew up my own ears. Oh. I almost knocked backwards. Like I almost fell out of my chair backwards, like flipped backwards. Alright, now I'm good. Now I'm sweating like crazy. I recoil, backing away from whatever that was. In the process, I trip backwards on my feet, and I wait for the pain of falling flat on my back. But instead, I feel a hand on my back and see the smug smile of, well, guess who?
Oh, don't tell me you're reporting to work drunk, Mint.
Of course, I know exactly who that voice belongs to. It just have to be him.
Marianne McCollough, hammered on the job? That would be something.
But...
Wouldn't dream of it, whiskey.
So, is that actually... Oh my god, it's part of the story now. Wouldn't dream of
You're
it.
allowed to be if you wanted, though it's a bit early for it. So thanks for the save.
Really, it is much appreciated. Even the my neck hurts because I like had whiplash. Oh, my neck and my back. I should really stretch before a visual novel. Oh my god. Ugh. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. No, I'm not. Even though the circumstances during our first meeting were not savory or wholesome, I can't bring myself to completely look at Mr. Wright in a bad light. Nothing came out of it after all.
It's no trouble at all. I've been told I have a gift for catching pretty ladies, being a great catch myself.
Is that so? Would you say you'll be able to catch if another man were to pitch?
Perhaps, but I wouldn't know.
What?
I don't play baseball. Mint.
Right. Of course you don't.
I can't help but chuckle at my little joke, but it looks like it completely went over his head. It didn't mind. If he had understood it, I guess it would have been inappropriate. He is my client after all. Speaking of which... Goonie? I guess we'll pass it back and forth. I'll choose 2, he choose 2. Could be anything. Actually, you know what? That other route really didn't show us much. Other than, like, he had an accident in the 5th grade. Huh. Oh, maybe something about her friend? But she had one friend. When was it? Back in St. Samthan School for Young Ladies? Marianne only had one friend and was mostly focused on her studies. Ashamed. Yeah, it doesn't really go into it that much. Spoilers, maybe. Where is Mr. Wright? Mrs. Wright. Sorry. Whatever little camaraderie I had with whiskey is forgotten, however. I straightened up, glanced behind him, only to find he's on his own. Mrs. Wright is still absent. I still remember my place and why I'm here. To continue in such a matter with her husband would feel like a breach of trust between my client and I.
Since you are here, I don't suppose Mrs. Wright is on her way down? It is 10:30 after all.
I don't remember if it went up or down. Hopefully it went up.
She'll be down here in a moment. For now, you have me. Can't I just chat with a good friend?
We don't know each other other than that one drunken expedition.
I don't think a night where we talk like 2 drunk Egypts makes us good friends. And if you have any bit of sense, it's better to forget that night ever happened.
What? Why not? It was a good night, if a bit boring.
You know exactly why.
Sex.
We both know what your intentions were that night.
Sex.
And to find out that you're married?
Still sex.
If there's even an ounce of decency in you, if you'd like the world to be a little less messed up, you'll remember your wife and what you almost did to your Mrs. Wright.
It's better to get that out of the way once and for all.
Well, no need to be such a killjoy about it.
He has no remorse. The dead air between us, because it can't be anything else but that, is broken as a lively voice calls out from the loft.
Marianne! I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. I know we agreed we'd start at 10 o'clock, but mornings just simply do not agree with me. Not one bit. It's been like this since I've been in university.
It's 5 minutes to 11 o'clock. These high-end clients sure like to be fashionably late. I'm used to it though. Much like how I'm used to so many years of hearing people mispronounce my name. Wait, what? How else do you say Marianne's name? Marianne? Or... I don't... Isn't there just one way to say the name? Marianne? Marianne? Have I been saying Marianne this... Oh my god, Mossy, you're in the background? What you mean? What you mean? Where in the background? Where am I? Anyways, yeah, have I say? Besides braiding or correcting, my client would be extremely impolite, and Marianne doesn't sound too bad when she says it. To be fair, it doesn't seem like she's late on purpose.
I see you're up, darling. You know, you could have woken me up as well. Were you showing Marianne around? Not that there's much to see. This place is so tiny compared to the mansion.
I'm more worried about the way she stares at me, judging. Such a look. It doesn't suit her pretty face at all. Just seeing Mrs. Wright reminds me too much of her. And I'm starting to hear her again, see her again when I shouldn't. While the woman is talking that sex was not right that night, sex when you were trying to hit on me, I still don't know what your intention sex, but yours. Yup. To think she would be looking at me that way, I can just feel my hands tremble.
Oh yes, just showing her around and getting to know each other. Isn't that right, Marianne?
Yes, of course. And your butler was making breakfast a while ago. So if you want to get right to that.
It's so fun when you can't English. It's okay, man. I got the gist of the message.
Breakfast would be lovely.
There's no denying the clients when they invite me over to the table. Though it is too personal to share a meal in their home, it would be terribly rude to deny their invitation. Woo! I want pancakes. Besides, the pancakes did look and smell heavenly. A bowl of clotted cream, fruits, syrups, jams, and other spreads are laid out next to them, making for a colorful arrangement. If this was brunch with friends, I would have gladly helped myself to the lot. But as it is, I accepted just a few pieces of pancakes and topped it off with lemon and sugar.
You know, I was a tiny bit serious when I said I wanted a helipad.
Oh my god, please.
And you're not serious about the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables.
Well, I do want those too, but I know you'll agree to those.
We're talking about interiors here, honey. You don't handle exterior designs and whatever handles those sorts of projects do you, Marianne?
I'm able, actually, and willing to take a project of that nature.
Oh my god.
I was an architect in Ireland before. Of course, that's another contract entirely.
Wait, do architects usually take on projects that include helipads, stables, and vineyards? That's intense.
I also suggest we finish the house itself before working on any additions to the rest of the property. There won't be any problems about ownership this time, will there? Pardon if I'm crossing a line, but the acquisition was rather quick.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got everything sorted this time around. I've talked to Miss Cooper and Mr. John from BRC, as well as the old owners.
Mr. Wright looks like the older version of that prince from Game of Thrones that was so... Oh my god, he does.
Everything has been paid in full, and all we're waiting for is the paperwork from the land registry. They're letting us move in as soon as we please. It's not like they were living there in the first place.
That's good to hear. The problems that could arise from renovating another person's home would be... well, let's not dwell on it.
Yeah, it's called illegal.
First off, we'll want to know how you want the place to look. It's pretty furnished as is, but I understand if you want to modernize the whole thing.
Actually, I'd prefer to keep the place looking as it is, but at the same time, I want modern appliances.
Isn't that kind of clashing?
You worked on the Ludgate's Christchurch summer residence. I do remember there being an oven I thought was a simple drawer before. Make them look vintage, antique, blend in with the rest of the decor.
Customize appliances then. I can't find someone for that, and if you can't tell me what you specifically want, it'll hasten up the process. We're talking about electronic appliance manufacturers. If you have a preferred brand to work with.
Splendid! So, what is next on our agenda? All the other interior designers we've hired in the past did not have us this involved.
Stop. What sort of half-baked designer did that? If I knew who they were, I would have words. This isn't the time or place for it, however. Instead, I used this brief pause to pull out the floor plans I brought with me.
We'll have to figure out what you want to do with the rooms. Here, we can have a quick run through.
What is that little room next to the master's bedroom?
Oh, as far as I could tell when I saw it, it's a second bedroom of sorts.
Oh, the attic room.
Used, apparently, for the ladies in waiting who has served Lady Charlotte Ermengarde, which is strange, as that isn't the norm for these sorts of houses.
Well, we're not stuffing Johans in there. He won't fit. You don't suppose we could turn it into a walk-in closet and a dressing room?
Is that the room where I think that's the room where we saw the ghost as Isabella. Sorry. So wait, the ghost is a servant? Oh, that sort of makes sense. Because I think both the Mr. Ermengarde and Mrs. Ermengarde were both blondes, and the ghost has black hair. Huh.
I love fashion, but do we really need to turn an entire room into a walk-in closet, dear? We'll have large closets and a wardrobe in the bedroom already.
Says the one who takes 3/5 of our closet. Well, what do you suggest we do with it?
Break it down.
I thought a utility room of some sort would be nice. A craft room where I can do fun things.
Wait, I just read the list you sent me. Gah, I love Danganronpa. Yeah, I got that because it was on sale on Christmas. I'm kind of excited to play that. Because I saw like the first 10 minutes of it. I'm like, oh god, this is just like Zero Time Dilemma.
Or maybe a children's room might be nice. You know, for when Kylie comes over. Or if Rochelle visits once she's had a baby.
'Cause I just love making mistakes where I accidentally kill off my favorite character.
1, you are not inviting that witch.
What?
And 2, there's a whole mansion for Kylie to play in.
You talking about Rochelle? Or Kylie? Oh, he's talking about Rochelle.
We don't need a children's room, and you don't even do arts and crafts. I'd like to turn the guest's room and the study into my personal office, by the way, if you don't mind.
Wait, but the study room's all the way on the other side.
You can turn it into a personal office if I can have my utility room. It's just the one room of the many. I'm taking that room for myself, no matter what you say, dearie. So you might as well take this deal. You're always out doing business anyway.
What do the rights do? Also, she's gonna be the first to die. I can already tell. Whoever takes that attic room is gonna be the first to die. Or be possessed and then die. Or be possessed and kill other people, go to jail, and then die. It's just not good.
The real problem is the theater. Whatever are we going to do with all that space?
Oh, I forgot there was a theater. Oh my god.
Fine, we could turn it into our own personal cinema, I suppose. Might as well have it, if you plan on not having a telly in the parlor.
Yes, well, I don't want guests to be glued to the telly when they come over for a meal and some tea. By the looks of things, we can keep the rooms as what they are on the ground floor, though. The ballroom would be perfect for parties.
Lots of writers that worked on Zero Time series wrote for Danganronpa and Persona 4 and 5. Did Zack die? As far as I know, I don't think so. I think he's fine. I think he's meeting up with Ash because Ash called him when he was at the mansion, and since we didn't go inside the house like a dumbass, he's a-okay. But I think he's meeting up with Ash. But that's kind of cool. That's a good sign so far for that game.
Do we really need a dining hall, though? I don't suppose we can't convert it into a garage.
Garage?
What for? You can park your cars outside.
Wait, what room to the garage? The dining hall? Well, I guess it could work.
What about that room? Right there, in the northeast corner.
That's sleeping quarters for the household help?
Oh.
Oh, that is perfect! Johans will be glad if we have other staff members who stayed in. It'd be convenient so they don't have to make the trip from Luxbourne to the mansion when they're needed.
You'll definitely need a lot more people to maintain a property of this size.
The mansion is really a lot bigger than I thought. Look at all these rooms. I didn't even know there was a music room next to the parlor because of what happened.
There was a grand piano in there too, when we checked during the tour.
But it was stolen by the ghost.
Did you hear that, Luke? Maybe you can take up playing the piano again.
Ooh.
Oh, Oh, you should have seen him when we were younger, Marianne.
It's not like I was very good with the thing.
Oh, he's blushing. That's the first time we've seen Luke blush.
Oh, hush you. You were no Mozart, but I loved hearing you play nonetheless. He'd come over to my home and he'd play such fun tunes. He'd sing too, and I'd dance, and it was just...
Mr. Wright playing the piano, I can't imagine it. But the earnest way in which Mrs. Wright said so told otherwise.
Anyway, what do you think of these plans, Marianne?
Are we not even going to consider one of my requests? Not even just a closet or just a garage? Now, that isn't fair, is it? You're not the only one who's going to be living here.
I hardly see how that's unfair. I told you you're getting your office and your theater, the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables. That sounds fair, does it not, Marianne?
Oh god, it's gonna give me the choice. Oh my god, it is. Whose side am I taking on here? Well, we're both good with Hannah and Luke. And he is getting a stables, vineyard, and whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah, I'll be honest, the closet and garage sounds better than the other three things. Theater, greenhouse, vineyard, and stables. Yeah, that sounds fire. I went down for Luke, obviously, and went up for Hannah. It's okay, I want Hannah to live. Luke, I'm still unsure about because we haven't played through him as, yet. His right has her points, though I really didn't want to butt into a spat of husband and wife. But with the way they were looking at me to settle this, I might as well just keep to the facts instead of giving opinion.
Mr. Wright, your plan isn't quite feasible from an architectural perspective. I'm not even sure how much we can do without closer inspection. Well, the one about the garage, at least. A walk-in closet is easy enough, but the garage?
See, a garage isn't architecturally feasible, and it isn't going to be financially sound as well.
Like they have a problem with money.
We're already going to spend a lot on your other requests. You have several acres of land to park on already.
Hold on, out of everything she said so far, that seems like the most implausible. Did you hear what she said?
See, a garage isn't architecturally feasible, and it isn't going to be financially sound as well.
Financially sound? You bought a fucking mansion. I'm pretty sure he'll have the money to renovate one of the dining halls into a garage. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I wouldn't know actually. But I'm pretty sure.
What? Did you calculate that on the fly? Financially sound my foot. You're probably just thinking up of imaginary numbers.
Might I remind you that I was a financial manager?
Oh, that's right.
I also looked over and approved the expenses of our other houses. I know the rough cost of these things by now, love.
Damn.
Masters in business administration, major in accounting. Sometimes I think you forget that I'm not as dumb as I act.
That catches my attention more than anything. It sounds more unbelievable than Whiskey playing the piano. She really didn't seem like the type.
Business administration and accounting? What university?
Why does that matter?
Lux upon you, of course. Go Lux Dragons, red and gold.
Those are some pretty nice colors.
Excuse me? How about we move on this chit-chat ahead and do whatever else needs to be done sometime today? I had to cancel my appointments for this, you know.
It's fair, I want to ruin Luke's friendship.
We might as well do a proper inspection with the designer this time, just to get it out of the way.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now. We actually took another look at the property yesterday, though it was brief. But I'm sure you would want to see it yourself, to spot anything we might have missed.
It's not like I have much of a choice, do I? Riding to the Ermengarde mansion and their... rice? What is a rice? Thinking of food immediately. I wasn't thinking of anything else. Well, I typed in rice and it is a trendy Asian slang spelling of rice. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. What? That can't be what it is. I don't get anything from rice. What the hell is rice? Not only am I worried about scuffing the expensive leather... Oh, it's a car. But I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple spat. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them starting at each other at any time. For fuck's sake, the hair is always looking like wigs. I don't know. It's fine. Nobody's saying anything. up until Mr. Wright tells his valet to turn the damn radio off. And for a moment, I think he might start, but instead he just stays quiet. So does the rest of us. In the end, the insufferable silence stays. I have never been so glad to see a house. I did not say that, Marianne did. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride, and I can finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to make me gaze in wonder every time I see it as well. Mrs. Wright moves towards the front door, keys in hand, and I can already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in, but I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scout the property and circle the perimeter on foot.
Oh shit! Isn't it like 40 acres?
You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Oh, that's fucked up. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't want to look at the creepy hot house. Okay. Thanks, Scooty. Leaving me here.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass.
Give him a jeep.
Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use.
Wow.
I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Wow. Someday, I'd like to ask how Johans could even stand and tolerate the man. Why does he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. It probably is. Even I'm a bit put off by a mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed the contract. At least I'll be only working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. This wretched, strange sunlight that is far too alien and rare. See, if you look at the portraits on the top left and top right, you can see that they both have blonde hair. Holy shit, they look so alike to the Wrights family. That's a little creepy. Okay, anyways, there had been a bit of a problem with the missus not knowing which key was which. The first item on the agenda would be the grand staircase. It seems sturdy during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage nor wear and tear, probably rethreaded during the renovation. Peeking under the grand carpet, the wood is properly installed with bark placed down to prevent cupping. The carpet itself could use a vacuum though. Structural conditions, from what I can see without actually dismantling the thing, look to be in good shape. And the handrails and support posts are firm. The work on it should be commended. I can't look much more into the rest of the foyer, however, because Mr. Wright started to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know. They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And then the whole house comes down.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
The man didn't look too pleased at this. There's a look of disappointment before he sighs and looks around the place with an air of defeat. When he moves to speak, I dread another unreasonable demand. Again.
This will stay a dining hall then.
Damn!
But if I may have another request instead,
Damn it.
at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants, or something.
Oh,
I feel so old and dead in here.
that's not what I expected him to say. I thought he wanted like a rocket ship by the end of that sentence.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
The look that passes between the two of them, there's a genuine look of fondness there. This is the first time I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there's little doubt they loved each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them.
Damn.
Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house. I'll just be around here downstairs, if anybody needs me.
That leaves Mrs. Wright and I.
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own.
Aw.
Some I'd like to think
What?
they may be about his mother.
What?
He never talks about her. I don't even know her name.
Her name is Daffodil. Aw.
He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Much like the piano, I didn't take him for a person who likes flowers. Daffodils, least of all. What's next? Am I gonna find out that Mr. Right saves kittens from burning buildings? Wow, Marianne.
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
Oh god. Oh god, I'm alone in this house again. When she goes without even asking if I need her here, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Really, I don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really part of an interior designer's job. But the architect in me is committed to do this task with every project. If I'm going to make a living space that have both form and function, I might as well make sure that the entirety of the entirety of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I roam around the dining hall to check things off my punch list, if you will. But when it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with Whiskey. I have to look through the place eventually, sure, but on the other hand, I can do it later when he's gone. I can go upstairs. Oh god. Oh god. Well, I feel like both of these are traps, actually. Oh god. I'm gonna check the ground floor. Our numbers and all that. Alright, just because there's one troublesome client shouldn't mean I'll let him get in the way of my work. The parlor is my first destination. Mostly because I figured Mr. Wright is hiding down in the wine cellar and making plans there. I'm going to bump into him sooner later, but I'd rather make it later. Much later. The place, upon closer inspection, is in good shape. I don't doubt this place was done with the most care, considering it would be one of the first rooms visitors would see during the open house. There's a stain on the carpet, most likely left by one of the guests at the time, but it isn't anything a good cleaning can't get rid of. Next is the music room. Or at least that's a plan.
Locked? Oh, come on now.
I rattled the doorknob again harder this time to double check, and even give it a good budge to see if it isn't a problem with the door itself. But no, definitely locked. This is weird, considering the rest of the rooms aren't. It's almost like the house is haunted. Whoa. It could just be this one though. And I can try the other door through the ballroom if I really want to get in. That's when I hear it. The sound of a piano. Though it plays one note over and over again, makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand, and I back away from the door. Though I wasn't exactly the superstitious sort, what am I gonna do? The door's locked. I can just go back to it later. Maybe see if I can go through the ballroom and... The music room door opens, and who else but Luke Wright stands by the doorway. He looks a lot like a cat that ate a canary. I didn't appreciate the way his eyes linger on me.
Isn't it common sense the locked doors mean someone wants a bit of privacy? You didn't try and break the door down. Or did you just want to see me again that badly without the misses? I don't see why you would though, Mint. Nothing really happened between us.
Well, I wasn't looking for whiskey. I was just going around to do my inspection. Thought it needed a push, just in case the door was stuck and actually needed repairs.
So you really are some fancy interior designer, huh? Had you told me you were one, I would have called you a piss taker. I figured you'd be, I don't know, an assistant going for a drink after a week with a tosser of a boss.
I'm just glad you thought me any sort of professional with how ossified I was. I must have not looked the part, so I understand your surprise.
He doesn't offer a witty retort and grows quiet for a moment.
At first glance, Hana didn't look like some fancy finance manager when I first met her either. She was the pretty daughter of this rich, powerful man. When she was introduced, they told me that she was not there as the man's daughter, but as a part of management. I thought it dubious. All the beautiful women I knew before her, they used their looks to get what they want. And there she was, with all that she could ever need in life. And yet she works hard to earn her keep.
It sounds like you admire her.
Hearing that, I too can't help but feel admiration for Mrs. Wright.
You enjoy your job, don't you, Mint?
It helps me earn my keep, as you would put it. A bit strange to say out loud, but it gives me purpose as well.
Do you think then that, maybe, Hana would want to go back to being a working person?
Taken aback by his question, I wait for further clarification. What makes him ask this, and why me of all people, right? Wow, this came out of nowhere. I was waiting for him to say like, some like backhanded retort, but like, I didn't actually expect him to ask a genuine question about his wife. Yeah, you should probably ask her.
Shouldn't you be asking her this? Isn't her opinion much more important than that of someone you just met in a pub a few nights ago?
You're a woman and I figured you might know more. I mean, people are always saying that women are fulfilled by having husbands and having a good home. But then I see ones like you who look happy having jobs. Maybe she's like you, and having a job would be better for her.
Just because I'm a woman? You do know we don't all think the same way. But I don't know, I'm not married or anything, but this shouldn't be a complicated matter. She's your wife for how many years? Talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't you guys talk during supper or something?
That gets him thinking. Or at least it looks like it does.
Well, I should let you get back to work. Thanks for talking with me, I suppose.
Right. But anything goes awry if you take my advice, just remember that I'm not some marriage counselor. So take it with a grain of salt.
My marriage goes down the shitter, I'll sue you. Noted.
Wait, that's not...
Too late. He takes a step back into the music room, shuts the door, and leaves me looking gobsmacked. He wasn't serious, was he? That man, I don't understand him at all. One moment he's this huge arse, and then he's this person the next.
Odd guy. Still needs a good arse kicking if you ask me.
Okay, so forget about going into the music room then. That's fine, he'll have to go out there sooner or later. In the meantime, I can go around and check the rest of the house. What's with this weird voice in her head? All my worries fade when I step into the ballroom. And well, the whole place is just grand, isn't it? I can see why the Wrights made sure nobody else would take this place from them. Anyone who has it will certainly be the belle of the ball. It's pretty much one great big status symbol. I don't think I can do much of a thorough expansion of this place, so I take note of it later, excuse me. Oh, great. Moving on to the kitchens, I check the ventilation and the general fire safety of the kitchen. This bit is important for a place this size. Of course, I would of course suggest bringing in an actual fire safety inspector over for a more detailed inspection. It wouldn't do to see such a beautiful architecture go up in flames after all. I take measurements of the countertops and cabinets, note down what type of wood they use. They wanted some of these recreated to hide modern appliances. There's a loose floorboard, or blurred, in the farthest corner, and some of the others had scratches, but everything else seems to be in decent shape. My concentration is... oh god, who is it?
You can come in. Door's not locked.
I wait expecting Mrs. Wright or her butler to come in, but nobody entered. Oh my god. Knocking again. It's louder and more urgent this time, and I'm pretty sure I didn't lock the thing.
All right. I'm coming. Just hold on.
The trap. When I move to open the door, though, I realize something. The knocking isn't coming from the door, but somewhere else. Oh. I was afraid of this. It was either this or the other room. I paused for a second waiting, but the knocking has not ceased. But soon enough, it becomes desperate. The dull thuds from before switching to what seems to be scratching? Desperate and insistent at once, as it was grasping for respite.
Is somebody stuck down there? Jack!
Where did that come from? How did it even get down there? That put the heart crossway in me, it did. I love cats, but they have no business giving people a fright. For a second there, all those ghastly rumors about this place had come flooding back. Now peering into the darkness of the open trapdoor gets me thinking, and it gets me curious. Seriously though, I should really make sure there aren't any more surprises from down under. I don't know, I don't think the Wrights would appreciate it if we found a litter of kittens making a house of the wine cellar. Mr. Wright seemed like the type to skin a cat if any of his precious wines were to be contaminated. I'm done with the kitchens anyway. Oh no, why are we down here? Oh, this is a fucking terrible idea. Also, they have torches? Oh. This is not good. Going down a flight of stairs while wearing high heels is always a bad idea. Descending into the dark underground only made it worse. But I managed anyhow without any major slip-ups.
These stairs need work, that's for sure.
Surprisingly, the wine cellar is in good condition. No water damage from last year's flooding, and apart from the dust and cobwebs that are accumulated, the place will likely hold for several more years. Racks and barrels line the walls, making the spacious room look smaller than it is. I'm no expert, but it looks good enough to make immediate use without any further additions. Bloody whiskey will be having a field day. I think so anyway, until I feel something crunch beneath me. Ah. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. The cat's fault, I'd wager. And it made for a downright mess, with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. There's a lot of the stuff for to have just been a few bottles though. A whole trail of it flows from the end of the room and I follow, fully expecting a leaking barrel or a whole upturned rack. Instead it just keeps on going. And it stops in a large puddle at the very back wall.
What a waste of wine.
I am so far away from the entrance of this place.
Why is it so sticky though? Ugh.
It's thick too, nothing like wine. Cause it's blood. Or ketchup. Of course, it could be just mold.
Maybe it's not wine.
What?
Go on, touch it. I dare ya.
Oh my god, it's a ghost. Oh my god, it's a ghost. This explains nothing. This just brings up so many more questions. Who is this? Why is Marianne not questioning? Despite it all, I find myself answering. Because it's her voice. Amy Lorraine. Lovely Amy, pretty Amy. I can imagine her standing there with me, laughing and pestering me as I did my work in a way only friends can. She was my friend. The only one I had at St. Anne's. I was a scholar of the charity case in a school for privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down on me if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. All except her. Sometimes I wish for the good old days when we were friends. Now she's nothing but a ghost. So I try so hard to get over her. I really, really do.
What am I, 5 years old? Oh, damn it, it's stuck under my shoe.
I double dare you. Hell, I double dog dare you. Don't be such a scaredy cat. It's probably wine.
Oh boy.
What else could it be? Blood?
I'm just hearing voices.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would there be blood down here?
Turn down the volume a bit. I'm gonna also turn down my mic volume a bit. It's gonna be really loud soon. If I was the joking sort, I would have said it might be the reason why the previous owners sold the place. Maybe the ghost stories were actually true and they wanted to get away from the walls that dripped with ectoplasmic goo and whatever other ghouls hounded about. Doubt it. I hardly believe in any of the voodoo nonsense as is. But as I stare at the mess at my feet, probably looking like a fool while I'm at it, I notice something strange. It isn't visible unless one is really paying attention, but I can see a red gunk seeping through the crack in the wall.
What's this then?
I worry about structural damage and damage to the foundation. I worry about the wine cellar as the wrong conditions can lend to the deteriorations of its contents, if temperatures and humidity are not controlled. Up until I see how clean cut the crack is. It runs along the edge of the wall and vertically along with it. Where a door... What? Where a door would be. Pressing my hand against the wall lends credence to the idea as I try to feel where it would give away.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere.
So am I just hearing this voice, or is there actually like a apparition person there? Because Marianne be crazy if she's just ignoring this.
Go look. This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
If there's a room here, that could certainly explain the discrepancy in the mansion's floor plans. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that there could be hidden rooms and passageways all over the house if we were to follow that logic. And boy, isn't that exciting! This feels like something straight out of a game, like Dungeons and Dragons. Suddenly she touches my arm and I flinch away in shock. That shouldn't be possible. Wait, she is there? So this is I'm gonna think this is like a common occurrence that she sees Amy, like an apparition of Amy, like in the back of her head, behind her, or like over her shoulder or something like that. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Yup. I understand the auditory hallucinations, maybe even visual hallucinations, but that was...
You look surprised. What's wrong?
You? That's not possible. You're...
This is a normal thing, huh? He's usually hallucinating with Amy. Oh, you should probably see a doctor. Dead.
Aren't you happy to see a dear old friend, though?
Remember me?
I'm hurt, I am.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, this is weird.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, isn't it obvious?
Oh god.
I've come back for you.
Oh god, she has a very, very, very scary face.
So that we can be together again.
Nope. When she touches me once more, I recoil. What does she mean, together again? She's dead.
No! Leave me alone!
Leave you alone? But I just got here.
Johan? Turning around, I met with the Wright's butler, who looks at me with an indifferent look. When I look back, Lorraine is gone.
I wasn't talking to you, just thinking aloud is all.
You should really avoid talking to yourself, Kint. Do more of that and others will think you're insane.
She is insane. She hallucinates, I'm gonna say regularly.
Yes, thank you. Is that all you're here for, or has your master sent you running down here for something?
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city. The car is already running, you see, and I suggest you go back to the foyer, unless you wish to be left behind.
That's a little... Wait a minute. I don't know. That's suspicious in its own right. He didn't stutter, but like...
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city.
That's kind of suspicious. Huh.
It seems you are in good company already, after all, with this house and your imaginary friend.
Wait, we're leaving already? But I haven't finished inspecting the rest of the house.
Be that as it may, there's a sulking man-child up there who wishes to go home. We are all subject to his whims, lest he throw a tantrum.
I can't help but smile at that. He's a strange guy. I still can't imagine how he can work for a guy like Luke Wright, though. I imagine the bland arse ain't an easy guy to get along with. Whatever the butler was having to tolerate that, I want 10 of it.
And we wouldn't want any soiled knickers or spilled milk. Why don't you go head on and I'll be right there.
No, I should be the one to go first.
Very well.
Oh god.
Do be careful on your way back. I saw some broken glass on the way and it will not do to cut yourself on them.
I will, yeah. Just tell Mr. Wright not to blow a gasket or anything. I'll be just a minute.
Speaking of blowing gaskets, there's something else dangerous here. Whatever is behind that door, it could pose some problems. Best case scenario, it would only ruin good stock of wine. But who knows what's behind that false... Oh my god. I'll have to come... No! It could be a body for all we know. That's my best guess. It's already dark as we make our way out of the mansion. With no lights, we are only illuminated by the headlamps of the Wright's car and the stars up above us. The sight of them helps me compose myself much more than several minutes of being alone did. The car's engine is running, yet the two still stand out on the lawn. Mrs. Wright is busy, eyes up to the stars. And Mr. Wright, arms crossed, has his eyes down on the ground. It is the crunch of the grass under my heels that brings their attention to me.
About time. What took you so long?
I saw a ghost of my best friend from 5th grade in your wine cellar. And the blood trail. Ketchup trail.
A minute longer and I'd think the house swallowed you all up.
Actually, that's also possible.
Oh, hush, dear. I'm sure she has her reasons. Marianne doesn't seem the sort to idle.
Sorry, I was just checking on something important.
See, business is business and they take time, love. You should know that better than anyone. So, Marianne, what do you think? Are you the woman for the job? I know we already signed papers hiring you, but I want to be 100% sure that you are committed.
I glanced back towards the mansion, knowing what I've seen there. That curious thing in the wine cellar, which is stuff I'd only read about from fucking horror stories. And her. I should feel the slightest bit hesitant. I was lucky. I've seen enough films to know what happens when a promiscuous woman enters a haunted house. This is my chance to turn it down, make excuses, say that I'm not up to the task, that I need to take care of my old sick father. Oh, that's right. Just pay the fine, which is probably outrageous for a contract like this, and let it go. I should turn it down, but I'm not, cause I'm fucking stupid. But for some reason, I can't. In the same manner, I haven't let go of her, of the regret that has shadowed me since that day. Much as I hate to admit it even to myself, seeing her again, the mischievous glint in her eyes, the loose tendrils of her hair curled around her forehead, it's something I've terribly missed. And now that it's here, almost within oh my god, what? Come on! This is like one of the stages of depression, isn't it? Or denial, or what's called? Loss? Stages of loss? Isn't like between stage 1 and 2, I think. My father would tell me sometimes you just simply have to go through with it. Consequences be damned. And well, I really don't have any logical reason to say no. At least not something a client like the Wrights would want to hear from a professional designer.
It's certainly an interesting project. You can be sure I'm seeing it through the end.
Such dedication! Oh, I do love the determination.
You were always determined like that, weren't you?
This is a terrible idea. I better be getting a big bonus from this. Hearing her voice again sends a chill running down my back. I can't wait for this day to be over. It's not over. From the mansion and through Anslem, I rode with them in silence. But as soon as we hit city proper, I asked to be dropped off and bid them good night. I thought it'd be best if I didn't stay too long in confined spaces with either Mrs. or Mr. Wright. Both seemed to cause me serious trouble, and if the project had been any less interesting or grand, I would have dropped it without a second thought. Would have. Shouldn't have. Won't. I assured them that my place isn't that far off, and I have to fight off the urge to roll my eyes and groan when whiskey throws me a little smirk. Wait, didn't Marianne have a cat named Baruthiel? Where's Baruthiel? And, but even in my own house, peace is elusive, as is sleep. I lie awake, thinking of what I saw in the mansion. Who I saw. If I so much as hear a single whisper from her, if I so much as see a wisp of her hair, I'm afraid I'll go mad. None of that happens, and it makes me feel hollow. For 2 nights, oh god. But it's only one morning, when fatigue has finally let me rest, that I'm reminded of what terrifies me so. In my restless dreams, I see that mirror, the one in the study, and in it, I see her. I see them? Lorraine and Hannah. Hannah and Lorraine.
Poor pathetic Marianne. Work, work, work.
Oh, well then.
She'll work herself to death.
At least they're not looking at me.
See? See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk amongst themselves, with cruel smiles and venomous tongues, or rather to themselves, 2 heads, 1 body. A horrible mockery of these women, as if they were the one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out, and she doesn't even see it.
Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they say a person has a hard time telling when they're in a dream, it is often true enough. Even with this bizarre sight, even with the obvious implication that this isn't real, I can't help but feel distress.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Though they speak into each other's ears, tones low and hushed, I can still hear them as clear as day. Their whispers pervade the air, heavy and oppressive. They bury and dig deep into my head like tiny maggots worming their way into my skull. Oh, okay, now they're looking. It is only then that they take notice of my presence. Eyes turned towards me and I can only feel small under their scrutiny. Caricature smiles etch onto their faces, mimicking each other grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Oh, like 5 minutes.
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
I don't believe you.
Unless you ask, that is.
Oh. No thank you still.
Have you been looking at us? Spying?
Maybe?
How scandalous. Such a naughty gal.
Sorry.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
No, I'm just terrified actually. That was like the last thing on my mind, even though you are naked.
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself.
Ah, the creepy eyes, the creepy voices. Not getting a boner from this.
Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
Nope. Nope. My breath hitches, and I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me screeching. The mirror I hold them cracks, lines spidering across its surface.
Do not lie. We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
They look livid. Yeah, they do. And when it looks like they would lunge... Oh, I wake up, feeling like the wind had been knocked out of me. Oh, that wasn't as scary as I thought. With a groan, I squint and find a certain fluff ball sitting on my chest looking as pleased as Punch. She is the overlady of the cats, queen of the spare and destruction of night's furniture. So I can't stay mad at her majesty because it feels like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't remember what it was about. Trying to recall leaves a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Baruthiel. Who's the good kitty? Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
A content purr comes from my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots toward the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Mornings before work is always a quiet affair. Shower first, then a mug of coffee, then a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches, and I always check my work email. The Wrights will be moving into the mansion today. Don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think that they were allowed to start their move despite that. Rich people like them will always find ways to get what they want after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay? And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party.
Is that a real thing? Black Cat Day. Holy shit, it is. Except it's on August. Is that? Wait, how was 2017? Yeah, it's in August. Isn't it October? Marianne, you're like way late. It's October 20. Huh? Alright, cool.
But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She barely gives me a glance as I say that before going back to her own food. Cats. Still better than humans. Most of the time. Too bad I have to work with humans. I would not like to work with cats. But the place is already busy as soon as I get there. The foreman, one I've been recommended to the rights for his work ethic, is usually early as usual. Oof. Already he's instructing men here and there with bigger loads. I have no chance to talk to him as Mrs. Wright appears and greets me with a smile.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful and these men have been very helpful. Look at all this. It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest. He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
She stops, looks up at the upper landing where Mr. Wright comes through with two other movers and the mirror from the study.
Oh, do be careful with that mirror. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it.
Oh, shit. The mirror's a problem.
If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there.
Oh boy.
Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out if we'll store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
No. Oh, I fucking know it. It's this one. The movers bring down the mirror one step at a time, no matter how much the man tells them to hurry. An unsettling feeling grows in my stomach as I see our reflection of the bloody thing. Ask the mirror for my dream. Ah, even worse. As soon as they go into the kitchen, I realize I'm holding my breath. I let out a sigh of relief when I think nobody is looking, and I go back to the task at hand. It'll be a terribly busy day, and there's no need for me to even think of anything else. I think I talk with the foreman, fill him in which room is which. It seems I'm doomed to not get any significant work done without being interrupted when it comes to these particular clients, however.
Marianne, dear, have you had breakfast yet? Well, I do believe it would be considered brunch at this hour.
Oh yes, Mrs. Wright, I...
You must join me. Johans has already been breaking in the kitchen, as they say. I do not see the others settling down for a meal anytime soon. Someone might as well enjoy the food while it's hot.
Food porn!
And that someone might as well be us.
More food porn! I should say no. I really must say no. But the way she smiles at me makes it difficult to do so. Look at how ridiculous I'm being, acting like a silly nervous schoolgirl with a crush. That is exactly what is happening here. It's just brunch, and who am I to say no to a client? It would be impolite to do so. It's not like I'm going to agree because of anything other than propriety. I'm not agreeing just because she batted her pretty eyelash. Ooh.
If you insist.
Marianne's a little detracted. I mean, so am I, but that is beside the point. It really isn't any of those. But it's something about her eyes, actually. It looks like she needs a good talk. Friend. And although I'm not supposed to be chummy with my clients, there's no harm in pretending, right? It's not pretend, is it? Of course, I've been wrong on many occasions before. Maybe there is plenty harm in pretending that I care. Because pretending I care might lead to actually caring. Being alone in the same room as the missus leaves me reeling as I find myself paying too much attention to her. It seems so borderline unhealthy how much I'm getting obsessed, even if it's just by looking. And it's the little I messed up so bad. It's the little insignificant things that I've noticed, like the way she plays with her hair or how she smooths down her dress.
Up, higher, come on now.
Whiskey's annoying voice in the other room helps pull me back to the ground. I'm just looking, aren't I? I know that someone like her wouldn't even look at someone like me. Still, there's some time to turn around this bad decision.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright, but I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Show me the food.
Nonsense! You arrived so early. You must not have gotten a proper meal.
Show it to me, game.
Sit. Sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now.
Her concern is sweet, as is her smile. But I'm not really here for idle chit-chat, something I keep forgetting. Oh, we've seen this before! We're both distracted when the food arrives, and it's enough for me to stay at least until the meal is over. No more, no less, just to be polite. Thankfully, the conversation steers into a topic I'm comfortable with: work. This goes on for a bit, and it can't be more relieved. Most people don't understand calling me a workaholic. I chose to work in a field I'm enthusiastic about. But what if my career is also my hobby?
But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
Wait, doesn't she own the house? I'm pretty sure. I have no business with it though, it's theirs to hash out. But apparently the momentary confusion had been visible on my face.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, what else is there to it? Without warning, this nice friendly chat devolved into something horrible. Something sad.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
Despite my general dislike of the upper class, I sometimes feel pity for them. They may have all the money in the world where material things aren't a problem, but they don't even see what they've become, where they've ended up, or what they've done most of the time. They're shut in by their own trap, forced to play along with society's expectations and do anything to stay where they are and to keep what they have. A world where even people feel or are treated like they're mere possessions. When someone is at the top, the only way for them is to go down. That's pretty sad. I've worked with many Hannahs and Lukes and Whiskeys, but I've never been one of them. I don't pretend to understand their world any deeper than that. I merely know what I've witnessed before. She looks lost, speechless as how she betrayed herself. My pity for the likes of her returns. Nothing but pity moves me as I speak before she can say anything else that might ruin or break her.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you, and whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs, if anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
The way she practically begs me to keep quiet about it is disheartening. I have no plans of speaking about anything I hear, especially if it is about their private affairs. But the way she looks at me, the way she just expects some sort of fallout because of this, makes my heart clench.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
Thank you.
When the last of the food and drink is gone, the door opens as if on cue.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Zachary!
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
She stands to up and leave, and all I want to do is reassure her again to prove that I am someone she can trust. So when she looks back my way, I didn't fight the smile that found its way on my face. I feel giddy, but the feeling dies down afterwards as I sober up. Oh well, back to work. No. This is the last place we should be. Soon enough, I find myself drawn to the kitchen where the right butler has returned to. He's already claimed the space and telling movers to back off, and none dares to question his proclamation either.
My kitchen. No kinder allowed.
Eh?
Little men running around with knives especially.
What?
We do not want any accidents to happen now, do we? Good? Good.
I guess he said smaller men because he's so tall? I mean, it is a knife-wielding German standing there. He is German. I don't think anyone would be insane enough to refuse his request.
I hope I meet the age restriction, or at least the height restriction, because I'm asking to be let in here.
You are allowed inside, McCollough, but not the little ones.
Oh, that's right. She's tall as shit too. 180 centimeters. A shake of my head and a roll of my eyes is all I give him. It's not like I'm gonna be any trouble to him. I just need to look around, get my bearings. Breakfast had been a distraction enough. I don't even want to think about what we just talked about. I just need to get my head straight and get back to work. The movers work efficiently. Why am I still here? Even when they're left alone and they do quick work of their responsibilities. The head foreman comes, standing in the doorway to consult me on this or that, and I have to go help out every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up to standards. They skip lunch entirely, not even realizing when they do so. Nevertheless, all is well as the butler gets to heating up the leftover bubble and squeak from the breakfast, makes a generous batch of fish and chips for them. Most likely simply in comparison to what he serves the rights, but well done nonetheless.
That smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It's an idle observation more than anything, my thoughts as they are. What? The fuck? Oh, my bad. That's weird. Pop-up showed up in his Windows update. It's an idle observation more than anything, my thoughts as they are preoccupy me.
If there are any left. One can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them. Even my husband. And he's American.
Hey! I really do hate getting so up and close and personal with my clients. It's a distraction. It is obvious to me that I've gotten my priorities all wrong when I can't help think about what I've heard, what I learned about the right couple. These things have a way of creeping up on a person. Thoughts, ideas, whether they are fact or fiction. They creep up and fester, crawl and writhe in a way that twists. I hear giggling, delighted and mocking. They creep up and the sensation of fingers ghosting briefly around my arm causes me to freeze and hiss.
Don't!
I half expect her to be there.
Whoa, no need to scream bloody murder.
Huh?
It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
But it's just whiskey.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being scared. I think that applies to everyone, Marianne. Though I don't believe in the likes of spooks, being startled is not on the top of the list Marianne's like. Lucky for him, I have nothing within reach, or he would have gotten on friendly terms with something like a rolling pin.
What was with that reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johann's been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people. Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
The butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotion on his face to begin with since I started working for the Wrights, aside from vague amusement. There must have been something there though, judging from Mr. Wright's own content face. Their expression on Mr. Wright's face is almost cruel. But neither of them spoke, even as Johans leaves the room to serve the workers their late lunch.
So, now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
Alright.
That's a boring way to look at it, but that's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be a relief, actually, if those rumors of this place being haunted is true. That just means I'm not going bonkers. Hearing, let alone seeing a dead person, isn't exactly the symptoms of a healthy mind. Sure, it means there would be such things as ghouls and goblins, but at least I'd be sane. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead girl walking around.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
A simple enough question on the surface, yet I noticed the man stiffen as the question leaves my mouth. I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watching his reaction intently, but in his eyes, I see something dangerous.
That depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
Oh, I might. Just give or take 5 hours.
Well, maybe that, but no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really. Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it. But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
A dead teenager would technically qualify as strange. Yeah, the whole I see dead people thing isn't going to go over well.
None that I know of. But I'll inform Johans immediately if something comes up.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern he had on the talk of security is quickly gone. His arrogant, smug smirk returns, if a bit subdued. Whatever smarmy remark or innuendo he has at the ready never comes through, as voices from the dining hall ring out.
So, is this a full-time job for you then? Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least not all the time.
That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As always, Mrs. Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion no matter who she's talking with. It certainly puts people at ease around her. It sounds like it's working on the photographer too. Hearing them though seems to put Mr. Wright in a sour mood. At least, if his small scowl is anything to go by. Is he jealous? Ooh. I don't know. Try to lighten the mood or ask if he's alright. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I'd usually ask if he's alright. Maybe that's too nosy?
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey?
Hey, what's up?
You're looking like you need a serious drink.
What is it that you want to do then? Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
I'm fine. Just a bit winded from all that moving about. It's been a long day.
And the day's not over yet. So if you can excuse the bloodness, you either shape up to help or ship out back to your room and let us do the rest of the work.
He hesitates, eyes locked firmly on the door that led to the dining hall. Even now we can still hear as Mrs. Wright and the photographer chit-chat in between shots.
It's Not my place to say this, but she really does seem to care a lot about you, you know?
There's no need to remind me of that.
A strange smile appears on his face before he shuts his eyes and sighs.
Tell the workers that you're all dismissed early.
That's nice and all, whiskey. But we really shouldn't just take off. Delays aren't a good thing when it comes to big projects like these. The sooner we tackle certain issues, the better.
And I trust you can take care of these issues another day. Don't make me ask again, Mint. Just tell the others they can go home early. And to not worry, they'll still get paid the remaining hours.
Damn! I don't know what prompted this. With the air he's putting on though, I know better than to meddle and prod further. Besides,
Fine, you're the boss.
walking out of the kitchen, I just accept the fact that whatever he says will go under his roof. Mrs. Wright and the photographer are still far too busy in conversation to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I didn't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Going to the foyer has me stumble upon the family butler once more, who raises a brow at my... I almost said bro again. Raises a brow at my presence.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCollough? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt it. My ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there were some difficulties at first because the driver didn't know where the Ermengarde mansion is. He tried to have us hand over GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other techno babble I didn't care about, and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him that it's the haunted mansion over at Anselm Village, he knew just the place, and finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about that place giving him the willies. It gives me the willies too. I would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurs to me, another blossoms in the forefront of my mind. One that has somehow bothered me greatly, more than my exasperation over whiskey and this project or want all of it to stop. There's been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. I'm not gonna try. Damn it all. Loose ends. Fucking bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already moved past these years ago. And if it does not, it does, oh boy. And it does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I want a stiff drink. And where else do I go to drink? Ah, we're back here. Those Tuesdays are for karaoke, and Wednesdays? Improv. Usually it's these four guys who did hilarious games. The one with Irish drinking songs are always a crowd favorite. Though I love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing, and without Cam or Haruna or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really, really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G, come over here.
Ah, she's the loud drunk.
I need you for something.
It's a good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I'd probably get kicked out of other places by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, all he would do is give me an easy smile and a shake of his head, even when he's attending to other customers. It's like, nah.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
He's Ashton. I don't think there's any other Asian in this town besides Haruna, maybe. Or an Asian guy, I mean. No, wait, I take that back. Haruna's not a guy. God damn it, I got my head mixed up. And I'm pretty sure I've seen him here before a couple of times, although he never talks to anyone else besides G. The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Asian Joe!
All right. What is it? Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine.
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
The wine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunker... I am a little drunk, I think. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. That doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I know he would. Or he going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
With no drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right there and then. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to trek it back home just yet.
Same old, same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of deal and dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
A talk would have interested me. Would I kept my attention if I gave a damn? But in my current state, I can barely give 2 fucks about the things going around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned, if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy. And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping.
Damn.
Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking Wright. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about the guy. What the absolute fuck? Oh boy. Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up.
Is this smack talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There's only amusement on G's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes. She's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work.
Hey, Richard Luke fucking Wright. His middle name is fucking? What a middle name. That's... yeah. Actually, I would've... No, wait. No, I take that back. I was gonna say, like, I wouldn't mind a middle name like that. It sounds pretty cool. Until you actually go about and saying it. There's only, like, condemn when you say a name like that.
Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya?
He talks just like the police inspector, or the chief police inspector.
I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11".
Damn.
Can't miss me.
Damn.
Unlike Shorty over here.
Damn!
What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove.
I'm kind of interested in the disease the father has. So have you visited the father yet? I hope I didn't miss that scene. He said he has Alzheimer's, I think. Based on the yeah, on the third paragraph on the right, last sentence. Ashamed that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's soon after. But no, we haven't visited the father yet. We did have some pancakes and met up with her ghost hallucination girlfriend from high school. That was fun. Or middle school. 5th grade? middle school.
Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an arm. Damn, Marianne. But when he shakes me off, I plop into a seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of you. But you're still standing after all that, are you? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been treated like there's no tomorrow.
That's not how you address a woman. That's I don't. It just sounds mean. Yo, you see this giant fucking woman over here? This giantess?
I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCollough. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes. Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Hey, Sanka, giantess is a fetish? You know, I'm sure you meant that sarcastically, but I'm pretty sure I'm 100% sure actually that it is absolutely a fetish.
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean, but anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating.
Oh my god, she's smashed. Am I gonna have sex with Ash?
One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
Oh, alright, well. And I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too, they both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him?
Hold on, hold the fucking phone. Sako, what the fuck are you saying? Nope, there are drawn pics of anime girls rolling around in cities and eating buildings. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be weird. I'm gonna do this though. I look this up. I'm looking up giantess hentai. No, not the giantess. Apparently the giantess is a place. Holy shit, it is. Oh my god, they even have a Reddit page or a subreddit. You must be 18 to... Yes. Oh, wow. Hold on, let me just click on the first link here. Oh. 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 Well, it's not what I expected, but apparently... It's when the guy is shrunk into like action figure size, and the girl is just normal size. That's not what I expected. I was expecting fucking some Godzilla shit, where it was like, okay, I can't look at that. Nope. Okay. Oh boy, alright. Getting a little high here, but alright, cool. Yep. Whew. Told you, man, internet is weird. Yep. Internet is a beautiful and weird place.
Anything peculiar of note?
Sorry for that tangent.
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up and I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually cracking one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep, I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something.
There are some ones that's Godzilla size. No, I'm not gonna look that up. No. I could probably just imagine it.
Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How's she?
How is she or how is she?
Oh.
Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then? Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants.
What?
I take the pants off.
What? And there we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behavior? What? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me.
What is happening with this conversation?
Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. If feelings had a taste, it'd be bitter than the beer I'm full of. And it gets me thinking. Though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shit in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCollough.
Those ones aren't even porn, just lewd. That might as well be porn.
Good luck with your work on that mansion.
If you could jack off to it, it's porn.
Speaking of that mansion...
No, wait. No, I take that back. I said nothing.
There's something going on in that place. Something... As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
Sucker, shush. I didn't say anything. Nope.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and everything starts spinning. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up-chucking on your pretty hair.
Damn.
But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from VRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking Wright, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either.
Middle name fucking.
I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I?
Just a little bit.
Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And he really is pale, paler than before at least. I can see the gears turning in his head over time. In overtime. Ashton Frey. Huh. I didn't think the... Well, I guess they do. I didn't actually really think that the police had their own domain for email. I know this is fiction and all, but do they? Suddenly he shoves a card in my hand. That's a card? That's a big ass card. On his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. He has a second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible.
Question, I didn't really question this before, but... Is Ash a police officer or a PI? Does he have a gun? It seems like he has a badge, maybe.
You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
991, right?
Right, 999.
Oh, never mind, I'm wrong.
Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
That's a lot easier than America. Guy is quick on his feet, already up and at him as soon as the numbers leave his lips. Watching him as he maneuvers. Whoa, that's a weird... That's not how they spell maneuvers? Maneuvers through the crowd and other pub goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's out the door and throws us a smile. And that's all we get before he's gone, just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
When I'm both? Yeah.
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
What a nice bartender. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Hello.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Just a totally normal, drunk nightmare.
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
Nope.
Unless you ask, that is.
Nope. Still nope. Usually I'd be asking, yeah, well, maybe, but this time nope. Not that I couldn't get much sleep to begin with. That's it? That was so nice. It was so short. Oh, thank you. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy but still it eventually towers them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
Join them, they won't bite? No, they will bite my jugular. I don't trust a two-headed woman when they're naked and they have crazy eyes. I don't trust them. No trust. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Woof. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. Thank you, Marianne. We got that. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they burned her Jesus Christ, okay, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's... I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead, because they're dead. dead, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
2 heads, oh my gods.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband, but it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
I wouldn't know, cause I've never married.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you, Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself.
Anyway, grabbing lunch, enjoy Mossy by stream. Bye, Sanka! Enjoy your lunch.
Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone.
Thanks for stopping by.
We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Till I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest though, there are some help to me, like some weight had been taken off my shoulders. Marianne.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive.
Whoa, her arm. Okay, never mind, I get it. It just looked weird at first. I'm like, wait, did she just break her arm?
Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, because I'm already dwelling. I shouldn't just callously forget about them either. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with their craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxborn. I make it into the Why am I here? Marianne! Why? Why are we here? The wine cellar being my final destination, but when is a great task over simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one, yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Mary McCollough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being busy for a party. I am Marianne McCollough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 points in charisma. Is that right? I don't think it's wisdom anymore. It's like 1 point in charisma and 1 point in wisdom with like, I don't know, 14 points in curiosity. Maybe like 5 points in luck, hopefully. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond. Something suspicious!
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
Na-na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na-na. It's probably the wrong song. It's probably the wrong song. The look he gives me. The look he gives me as he is saying this is almost chilling. My life was a game book. He'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity. Wait, no! Wasn't it 8 in charisma?
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place.
You lied about your stats?
So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
What is she, a magic knight rogue?
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble.
Oh, he's hiding something.
Both the Bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and a disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But
please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
this is a terrible idea. He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. There's always a way. There's always 2 decisions that you could make. Do or don't. And this is don't. You don't do this. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend, especially when you're alone. Actually, they cleaned this place up a bit. Oh god, there's the mirror at the end. The space feels smaller with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before. And knowing what might be waiting for me here makes it worse. I almost hope, in a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine would just be standing there waiting for me. It would be just like her to joke about inappropriate meeting in dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and the wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine?
Why are you doing this?
I miss you, you know?
Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. If I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of the dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together in prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when her laughter fills the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren song, it draws me in before it comes out to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is inane, only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous, but I need to find a way to open it. Already I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that would have changed anytime soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it, hopefully without the need to break it down.
A shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
Lol. It's such a silly thing to say out loud, though there is no amusement on my face, and I do check, glancing at the mirror in the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
I mean, how long have I been down here searching for the switch over the hidden door? In order to find a dead girl, no less. It isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches that I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me, and that I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I have more time, although no, it's... I really shouldn't let these kind of things bother me too much right now. If I don't keep looking, there's no point in going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in search of... but there? A section of the wall about the size of my palm and just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch. Or a button, rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. But when a click echoes in the cellar and a hidden door creaks open, I stop. Oh. This is gonna kill me. I know it's gonna kill me. We're already at the door. And there's no point in going back without knowing. I know this is stupid. I'm going in. Someone hold my hand. No time like the present, eh? I have to hurry and I turn around when there's a crash. In my haste, I bumped into the mirror, making it fall to the ground and shatter into 100 pieces. Shit! I hope that isn't an original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I could probably find an invitation to replace it and... There's a dungeon down here? Oh! That's... Is that why Johan was so adamant of trying not to let me in? Okay. The door slams shut behind me, and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. And when I see much more visible lever on this side, I calm down and shake my head. On the other side is a passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. Cells closed off by heavy iron doors line the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench. Of the foul smell of humans and corpses alike being left. What the fuck? The breeze most likely coming from the other end of the passage that goes through is to thank for that. If the place had been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Though the architecture of their time was magnificent, human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if the Ermengarde mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There's no time to dwell on it further though. Not when. I might have killed Marianne. I was curious, okay? If she actually dies, I'm sorry, but I was curious. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her little body, or lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here?
And why is it croaking?
Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words that she tries to form with her bloody mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
I'm glad she has the time and the stamina to talk out loud. There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
What the fuck is happening? There's a flash of hope. She can help save me from that thing. But as I see her smile, the same one that thing have, I know then that this isn't Lorraine. I'm a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine is dead. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell I was thrown in.
What are you?
Is that a video camera? Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before, and with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell, towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine and the thought of being trapped down here. So then where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl?
What?
Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Juarez kid would panic.
What?
Light, spit it out! Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life and a video is played back on the screen. Whoa, she killed those four! Holy shit! Oh my god! It was hard to even consider paying attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I'd seen, students, judging by their St. Goretti uniforms, they were holding...
That letter.
Wait. They added the send this to 5 people? Or what? Wait. What did they add? It's probably the last part, right? Oh my god. The plot thickens. And that thing, the woman, she... Whoa! Wait a minute. Was that Lady Ermengarde? What? Okay. Oh.